Hey guys, I'm back, and today I bring to you vegetable broth. Currently, just ate some rice from a bag that I had to microwave. That was nasty. It wasn't that bad, but it was like there was nothing in it but soy sauce. I guess this is college. But yeah, I was just sitting here watching Yeah by the Maps, but it was an orchestra version of it. It's very transformative, if you ask me. You may notice that we are in a different position today, different location. I paused, yeah. Um, you get a small glance at my mind. This usually would be electrified and brought to life, given some magic with some Christmas lights strung up right there, giving the room a warmer tone than it has right now. But unfortunately, they're doing fire checks this month, and the fines can be up to $1,000. So, this is a secret between you and me. Shh, we will not tell anybody. They are in my closet right now. Today's topic is going to be the topic of feeling understood and art. A conversation that maybe I should have with myself before sort of hashing it out with you guys, but for some reason I can speak a bit more clearly when I'm sort of like speaking to a subject and very specifically to a camera. And I don't know if that's like a testament of like my generation and our relationship to media, but certainly is a reflection of my own relationship with media, because I've been doing this since like truly me to camera, just like talking, dates back to when I was in third grade, I believe. Second grade, because my mother would let me use her little iPhone, probably like the iPhone 5 at that point, and I would take videos, and I remember it very distinctly because I would make tutorials. I loved tutorials. I was like obsessed with them. It's like its own genre of cinema at this point. And I would do specifically things surrounding music. And I had like this little keyboard, and I would sit there, and I'd have my mom's phone. I don't know how I had enough storage to handle all of this, but she'd have it right there, and I would start talking to it, and I would show it my little things, and I'd walk around the room, and these videos would be like 30 minutes long. Insanity. I truly hope they exist somewhere still. I think they do. So anyways, yeah, I've been doing this quite a while, and yeah, I guess that's a great segue. Guys, my words are fleeting today. Like they're truly not coming out the way I want them to, which is actually a part of what I wanted to talk about today. But yeah, so art, gosh, where do you even begin? I feel like I can't really introduce art because there is no introduction to art. It sort of just exists and belongs. And my art specifically, I don't necessarily see it as a collective. It's all very much sort of disconnected in their own ways. They're all connected because it's created by me and inherently have very similar themes, but all of the types of art that I do are, I feel like, are also so independent, and they exist on their own, that it's hard for me to clump them all together and sort of introduce it as one. So I feel like if I were to introduce my art to you, I would just be introducing myself, which is a very complex thing, as most humans are. And recently, though, however, I have been focusing on the art of photography and sort of capturing a moment and holding time and sort of creating space with photos. I've also been studying the cosmology of home and habitat, which I'm sure I've spoken of before. And I thought my roommate was here for a second. But I've been learning a lot about like space and sort of the way it impacts a human and the way that a human impacts space, and it's been very, very influential in the way that I see my own work now, especially when it comes to like physical body and like how does my body exist in this space, and how is the way that I'm thinking being influenced by the stuff around me, which is such a complicated thing to dive into because there's so many different parts of that. But just with my photos, I've been thinking about like sort of outside of myself. But strangely enough, I learn a lot about myself through it. But like other people in pre-existing spaces, so like, for lack of better words, in their homes. And I mean that in a looser sense than a house, but a grander thing than that. A region, and maybe I'm not even talking specifically about a city or a state, but just like the earth as a whole, or maybe like the cosmos. I don't even know. I apologize for spilling my broth, but it's gonna get cold. So yeah, I've been focusing on that. But also, interestingly enough, I haven't really been just like focused on the physical like product that's not true. I'm not just focused on like the way that the product looks at the end, but like this process of being engaged with the product, not the product, engaged with the art. And you see that especially with something like film photography, because you are spending maybe like at least, or maybe on average, 3 hours for one photo, which is a lot. From going out to taking the photo to having to develop the photo, and like sort of this anticipation of like you have an idea in your head. The photo doesn't exist yet, but it exists inside of you, and you're mixing the chemicals, and you're standing there and you're thinking about like all the possible ways it's going to turn out, not to mention the grand disappointment when it doesn't turn out exactly the way you want, or sometimes the absolute astonishment on how fabulous they are compared to what you thought they might be. But yeah, from that to going into the dark room to create contact sheets, and then having the sheet with like 36, maybe less, photos on there, and looking through them, and like so now starting to imagine what they're gonna look like on their own and like existing. And then you go back in and you are shifting around highlights, you are shifting around the scale of it, and then you finally expose your paper to the light with your negative, and you have this blank sheet of paper afterwards that your picture is on, but you haven't seen it yet. And then you go to this line of different chemicals, and you watch the photo right in front of you become something. And then afterwards, I find myself staring at these photos for like hours. I sit there, go through my little portfolio. But it feels like there's something further than that I'm not understanding also. Like not only is it like, is this process revealing a photo onto this empty paper, but it's like revealing parts of myself, and like parts of like therefore grander humanity, since I'm a part of that. And it brings up a lot of questions of like purpose, and like these questions of why do I need to do this, why do I need a photo of this moment, why did I think this was important when going out and taking it, why is it important for me to do this, why am I giving it so many whys, that I haven't answered and maybe never will. But I simply enjoyed the process of it, and I do find something in it that evokes a indescribable urge. It's almost very primal. it's like I'm tearing apart, like, the skin of something, getting to those fatty meats of it. There's lots to say. I have lots of words and a lot of words that I don't necessarily need to say. I think I'll come back to this. This is probably enough for this video, though. I didn't really say anything that I wanted to, but that's okay too. So, until next time, my friends. Bye bye.